Hello, welcome back to Our Instinct, and today we're going to go and look at the Tesla Model 3. We're in Brent Cross Shopping Centre in North London, so let's go inside and see what the car looks like. The Model 3 just so was a long-range version with dual motors. The standard one just has the single motor in the rear. The dual motors give a 0 to 60 time of 4.5 seconds, top speed of 145 miles an hour, and a range of approximately 310 miles. The red paint is a $2,500 option and just looks fantastic in the flesh. The camera did not do it justice at all. This particular car sits on the 19-inch sport wheels, but you can opt for the 18-inch aero wheels, which in my opinion are not as good. This car has a full black leather interior and wood finish strip across the dash. When you sit inside the car for the first time, you immediately notice the large screen in the middle of the centre console. With the exception of the windows and the hazard lights, most functions are controlled from this screen. I must admit I was pretty sceptical at first, but when I tried it, I adjusted the steering wheel and played with the mirrors, and it was very intuitive to use. The adjustments for the mirrors and the wheel are actually controlled by some little scroll wheels that are sitting on left and right of the steering wheel. They're not marked, so they can be used for multiple purposes. The displays are pretty clear. It's quite intuitive to use, to be honest. The driver-centric information is always present on the side of the screen. This particular car is on the left, being left-hand drive, but it will switch over to the right-hand side when the right-hand drive cars hit the UK. Like all Teslas, Model 3 also has a frunk. Combined with the boot, the total storage is 425 litres, which is just 10 litres shy of the 2018 Leaf. The opening at the rear is compromised by the narrow aperture, but longer items can be accommodated due to the 60-40 split rear seat. The connectivity is pretty good in the car. I counted 4 USB ports. There are 2 up front that allow you to connect a cable compatible with your mobile phone so that you have a charging dock on the centre console. The advisor in the Tesla store also said there are third-party devices that will enable wireless charging that just simply connect to the USB ports and give you a wireless charging pad. The other 2 USB ports are in the rear and are located just below the air vents in the middle of the front seats. So that was the Model 3 then. I must admit I was very impressed with the fit and finish of the car. I went around every panel and every panel had a uniform gap to it. I know some of the early cars, even the S, was plagued with very bad fit and finish, very large panel gaps or uneven panel gaps. So I was quite impressed with that. Overall, I was impressed with the car too. I was expecting, I don't know, not to like the fact that there were no buttons anywhere, that you've just got the big screen in the middle, but it wasn't obvious. The layout of the car has obviously been tweaked, so there aren't big acres of plastic where the buttons would have been. So if you have, say, a normal car and you've got a lower spec version of it, it always used to annoy me where you would see like blanking plates where that would have been the button for the air conditioning or the button for the heated seats or something like that. But obviously that's just not present on the Model 3. Everything is controlled from the screen. The screen itself was very bright, very intuitive to use. The interface was very, very easy to understand. Everything's on like a tabbed option, so you would choose something to do with the car, and then straight away you've got into the sub-menu for the car as well, so that was all quite easy to find too. The mapping looked quite good. Very, very large screen. Not sure what system it's using for that. It's not going to be Google Maps, it'll be their own system, probably proprietary. And also I like the fact that the steering wheel buttons weren't actually labelled, so as you just saw in the video, you can use them to manipulate the steering wheel, move it in and out, up and down. The same button will then be used to manipulate the mirrors, try and angle those to your position, which was also really good too. One thing I wasn't sure on was the actual spec of the car. It was the dual motor performance version, which had very, very nice interior, very nice spec, probably all the bells and whistles you would associate with like a top spec car. It would be interesting to see what elements of that are not carried over to the base version, the one that's the $35,000, £35,000, or however much it costs when it comes to the UK. I'd be interested to see what that's like, because the car that I sat in felt very, very premium. Obviously that's going to come at a cost. Usually the base spec cars are quite sparse with equipment, probably no leather, maybe not the glass roof, maybe not heated seats, maybe not electric seats, maybe manual seats. It's just all things that are designed to keep the cost down, which will mean they can afford to sell it for $35,000 or equivalent in the UK. I found the boot bigger than I thought, apart from the aperture's quite small, so you would struggle to get large items in there. The seats did fold 60/40 as well, so you could obviously push long, I don't know, flat pack IKEA type boxes through there that would be stored no problems, but you're not going to get something like a dishwasher or a washing machine in there, because the aperture was quite small, quite low. Would I consider a Model 3? Yes, I think I would. It would probably have to be a used one, which would probably be more affordable, because if they do come in at £35,000 or thereabouts, an 18-month-old one or 2-year one would be the ideal price, I think. My Leaf is a year old, so my PCP is 3 years, so I've got another 2 years to go on this. And I think during that time, the Model 3 will become more prevalent in the UK. There will be hopefully used ones popping up by then. They are slated to arrive like sometime this year. I've seen multiple sources quoting first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So your guess is as good as mine as to when they're actually going to come out. But I would definitely be interested in having a test drive of one in the beginning, and potentially as a replacement for the Leaf, if I think the Leaf isn't worth having after 3 years, because ranges are changing, charging's changing. Depending on my circumstances at the time, it could be an ideal time to chop in the Leaf and try and get a Model 3 or something, or even something else. There's a multitude of manufacturers making EVs, or will be making EVs in the next couple of years. I think VW has stated they're going to release 73 cars, or they've got 73 cars on their roadmap at the moment. So we're going to swap for choice after so long, and everything's going to keep getting a greater range, a bigger battery. It's only ever going to get better. So the longer you leave it, the more range your car is going to have, and the more capacity the battery is going to be, the more autopilot type features, gizmos are going to be on the car as well. So it's a good time for the electric car, I'm thinking, at the moment. So thank you for watching. Thank you for clicking on the thumbnail. It means a lot. I'm just shy of 600 subscribers now, which is probably 500 more than I thought I would have got in the first place. So thank you very much for everyone who's subscribed. If you haven't subscribed and you're watching this channel for the first time, then there's a whole multitude of videos that you probably won't have seen yet. Some of them Leaf centric, some of them generic. So please have a look through, subscribe if you like them. Remember to give them a thumbs up, and also if you want to be notified when any new videos get launched, then just click on the little bell icon. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.